I would like to talk to you today a little bit about our states' rights. To set for a background for your understanding, the United States Constitution, as it was brought forth by the Founding Fathers, provided in the Bill of Rights, which we refer to as the 10th Amendment, Article 10 of the Bill of Rights, states that the United States are given certain powers, and those powers are prohibited for use by the states, the individual respective states. But it also says that there are certain powers that the states are prohibited from having, which are again those same powers. There are 17 enumerated powers, with an 18th one in Article 1, Section 8, that is referred to as the Necessary and Proper Clause. And that clause simply refers to the ability of Congress to carry out whatever smaller minutiae type of details are necessary in exercising their powers for the previous 17 clauses. Now the states were prohibited, kind of coming in the back door, they were prohibited from being able to use those powers. But that it said all other powers are given to the states or to the people. We have today a divergence from the original Constitution through additional legislation and usurpation of power by the executive branch and the judicial branch of our federal government, where the judicial branch legislates from the bench, again legislation supposedly only given to the Congress. Then we have the executive branch through executive orders being issued. We have about a third of our legislation today coming from that area, which has no power to do so. And Congress is abrogating its authority in that it allows the other two branches to take about two-thirds. It's about a third on the judicial and about a third on the executive branch. And the result is that we have encroachment upon the states' rights. Those powers, freedoms, and liberties given to the states to remain sovereign and for the people to have the unalienable rights that are talked about in the Declaration of Independence for the benefit of people in terms of their life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and property. Now what we've got with the divergence from the original Constitution, we have what we refer to as the 17th Amendment. And that amendment took the power away from the state legislatures to elect our U.S. congressmen to the Senate. They were originally to be appointed by the individual state legislatures, and that power provided a system of checks and balances for the benefit of state sovereignty to remain with the states. The other aspect was that the legislation of the 17th Amendment put the election of the senators upon the people, which is a democratic type of process, and it's not a republic type of process. What our founding fathers gave us was a republic, and when Ben Franklin stepped out of the building that they made and signed and completed the U.S. Constitution in 1787, walked home, and in doing so was stopped on the street, and a lady came out of the group and said, "Well, Mr. Franklin, what have you given us?" And he said, "We have given you a republic if you can keep it." And I would like to say that to some degree we have not kept our republic. It has moved to a democracy. Democratic processes are creeping in. And that's the process that we start down the road to socialism, and through the progressive movement it eventually is communism. Because socialism is nothing more than a pit stop on the way to communism. So our state rights need to be exercised more fully, and The encroachment of the federal government upon the state sovereignty and the freedoms and liberties of the people need to be protected. And we are going to have to exercise states' rights in accomplishing that. We have the ability to manage and control our own education, to deal with the resources that lie within the boundaries of our state. We have an agreement that was made with the United States government at the time that Utah became a state, that all the lands that the federal government was holding or controlling would be sold for the benefit of the state and the people residing therein. And so we need to exercise states' rights in getting back our land, access to its minerals and energy. We need to have a release of the executive orders that have created the Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of Education, so many of the bureaus and divisions of government that were never sanctioned or brought into being as a result of congressional legislation. So what we have is we have a branch of government running out of control that steps beyond its bounds of using executive orders only to carry out and facilitate those powers given to Congress, where they are to legislate laws and the President carry out the laws and use executive orders in accomplishing that. The executive branch of the government has stepped beyond its bounds in using the power of executive order. And we need to push back against that. It is an unconstitutional stand that they're taking, and we need to exercise our states' rights. Thank you.